Good morning. It's Sunday, June 12th. And did you know that in the United States, the average school day is between 6.5 and 7 hours? Many things have changed with respect to going to school. There are many, many more subjects that need attention. And so I would propose, and this may be crazy in the minds of many, that the school day be extended. And that's just part of what I really want to talk about this morning. It seems that in Connecticut, there's a huge push to increase the mental health services available to students in schools. And those services, I believe, come about because the environment in this country is degraded so much. And with the school shootings and everything, there are many more children who are upset about many things in their lives and are afraid to go to school in some cases. So Connecticut has put forth a bill to provide a mental health professional in all schools. And in the town of Killingly, that's Killingly, the Board of Education in that town voted down the money that the state was willing to provide for mental health services. And the hue and cry in that town was, mental health services are the responsibility of parents. So can you believe that? Can you really believe that you have a whole town of people who believe that parenting is the way to handle mental health issues? When there are many parents in this country who are working hard and they do not have the time that needs to be devoted to their children when a mental health issue develops. I mean, they can love their kids and hug their kids, but they cannot give them mental health advice. It's foolish to believe that all parents are capable of that. There are many parents who don't even know what their children are doing half the time. So why in Killingly do they take a position to vote the board down? And I'll tell you why. Because there are many subjects that have come up that need to be taught in schools, and these people are against it. They are against the sexual education and the diversity education that many schools are trying to put into their program. And those programs are called SEL, Social and Emotional Learning Programs. And this trains students to manage their emotions and practice conflict resolution. And I think it's a good thing to be able to talk to students about these mental health issues. In fact, in 8 states, they have already passed legislation to include mental health facilities in their schools. And there are 30 states that have been considering the expansion of school-based health services. Now, that's a major concession in a country that is probably dead set against this in many regions. But I applaud the fact that many school districts and many states have recognized the fact that our educational systems need to do more than teaching math and history and science. They need to get into the core of the psychological well-being of the students, especially in the environment that exists in this country right now. So I am so against this little village, Killingly, that believes that the parents can handle all of this when we see around the country that the parents are failing. In fact, the parents in many cases may be the cause of the problems that the students have. I'm a firm believer that the racism and extremism that exists in this country doesn't come about because the people who have learned to do that and want to do that had parents who thought the opposite of what these people think. I believe parental guidance is at the core of a lot of the major problems that exist in this country. And another piece, we'll just throw that in, is the politicians who only worry about saving their jobs and kowtowing to the communities that are crazy enough to believe in the racist and extremist theories. So why? Why, if the state is willing to provide health services, do we have a group of people in a little part of Connecticut that vote down the school board? That's crazy in my mind. In my mind, those people are doing a disservice to their children. If their children need mental health, are they qualified to do it? Do they have the time in their busy lives to take care of their children? I think not. I think not. Now, the parents would not have to pay any money for these therapists. The therapists would bill insurance on a sliding scale and using federal funds if necessary. So there would be no cost to the school and very little, if any, cost to the families. So the families didn't have to worry about money. But the families were worried about what the therapists are liable to teach their children. So the question was, would they advise students on birth control or abortion? Because these parents are probably against that. But the therapist said, no, they won't give medical advice like that unless the child asks them a question about it. They are not there to teach them about sex, And if a child was referred to these therapists and didn't want the therapy, would they be forced to do it? The answer to that is no. Students seen by their peers going into treatment would be exposed to ridicule and stigma. Well, that's true. That's a true issue. Because you know that when some students behave differently than the major grouping in their schools, they could be picked on, they could be made fun of. But I don't think that would happen as much as the parents envisioning it happening. Unless these people live in a community that has bullies, which you all have to go through at some point in time in your life. So could the therapy be given without the parents knowing about it? Maybe yes. Maybe they could be if the child didn't want his parents to know about it. But by law, clinicians in Connecticut can provide 6 sessions of mental health treatment to minors without parental consent under a very narrow set of circumstances. So the answer to that question is yes, but it's rare. In any event, I think it's stupidity that reigned in the town of Killingly. We should be willing to provide our student population with as much help as they can get in order to have them grow up decent human beings. So as I see it, this is one other major problem that we're facing in the United States. And I'll leave you with that today. Bye.